Well, there's if you want them. Okay? All right.
Ready?
Ready? What's up, Catawba County? Welcome to the heart of Catawba, where community meets conversation. I'm your host, Tyler.
And I'm Laurel. Let's get into it.
So for our first part of our podcast, we always like to go over community events, any big events happening, any big things just going on. We always like to highlight them and bring some light to them. So I'm going to start it off. We are kicking into the Christmas season. So there's going to be a lot of Christmas stuff going on. Starting December 12th from 7:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. at the where is it at? At the Hickory Community Theater. Hickory Community Theater. God, that came out way too fast. They are showing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. So they're gonna have the holiday classic soars off the screen in this stage adaptation of the beloved television special. It'll be filled with holiday hits like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and A Holly Jolly Christmas, including your favorite characters, Hermie the Elf, Bumble the Abominable Snowman, and, of course, Rudolph. So, y'all take your kids over to the Hickory Community Theater and go watch some Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Cool.
Cool?
That was on the 12th?
Yeah, so it's starting the 12th. I believe, I don't have the exact dates, but I know it goes on through the whole next week. So definitely we'll put some links for some show times for Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer if you're interested.
Yeah, there's a lot happening. I'm looking, we have a ton of different websites that we can link, like the event pages.
For sure.
Like, what were you on, Hickory Buzz?
I'm on the Hickory Buzz, yeah.
Okay, and I'm on Visit Hickory, and I'm seeing a ton. Like, there's everything from the robotics competition, there's Dirty Grass Soul with Garrett Huffman at the Hickory premiere, there's Hickory Choral Society Christmas concerts, the Newton Pack has the Princess Bride. Like, there's a gaming convention at Hickory Metro on the 13th. Newton Pack has the Classic Drifters and the Coasters Holiday and Hits. The Green Room's got stuff like a Charlie Brown Christmas at the Pack Center.
I'm going to go into the Charlie Brown Christmas.
They got, going into the 20th. Then on the 21st, I'm seeing they've got a Christmas Eve service at a authentic church. Like, there's a ton going on. So I think because we're gearing up for the holidays, we'll just go ahead and link these multiple pages and just kind of show what's happening.
Yeah, because there's definitely going to be a lot going on, a lot more than we have time to sit here and blabble on about.
Yeah, and naturally, if you guys have anything that you recommend, any upcoming events or anything you want to invite people to during the Christmas season, please feel free to comment that below, tag your event in the comments, get it out there. That's why we're doing what we're doing.
Absolutely. And I'm going to plug the Newton Performing Arts Center. They're having a Charlie Brown Christmas the 19th, 20th, and 21st. They have multiple shows. Some start at 3, some start at 7. So definitely go check out a Charlie Brown Christmas. That's one of my all-time favorite Christmas movies. Cool. All right. You have anything else to add on any events we got going on?
Nope.
Special guest, Jaden, we have anything to add?
Would you like to add anything, sir?
Nope, you're good? Okay, cool. All right. All right, and this is the part of the segment where we move on to our Voice of the Valley. So, bam.
Boom. Hey, y'all.
All right, guys.
Hey, y'all.
Welcome to this segment of the Voice of the Valley. We're sitting here with my good buddy, Phillip Page. He's a local artist and kind of a big deal in the town of Catawba, or not town of Catawba, but the county of Catawba County.
All the counties, because you travel now.
Yeah.
He is a traveling man now.
Trying to.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you came from, where you went to school, and anything you want the people to know.
Absolutely. So, first of all, appreciate y'all having me today. Looking forward to it. We'll start. I guess we can start young, I guess.
Yeah.
Young.
Yeah, young.
If I tell y'all, though, a little bit about that. So, let's see. Parents divorced when I was 2. So went back and forth. Then fast forward to about whenever I was 7, I guess. I finally made the decision as a 7-year-old to move in with my grandparents. So big decisions at a young age.
Wow.
Big decisions,
Yeah, so
for
that
sure.
it was awesome though, because I was just tired of going back and forth. So that was I just didn't like it. Like as
It's
a
hard.
kid, I was just like, ugh. Like mom gets mad because you want to stay at dad's too long. Dad gets mad because you want to stay at mom's too long. And I had brothers and sisters, and I had a brother at dad's, and then sister and 3 brothers at mom's. So like I had always had people to play with, like, and just if I wanted to hang out with these guys longer, I was like, yeah, I want to stay here. But anywho,
For sure.
my grandparents were saints. Well, they're still alive, but they are saints, and took me in whenever I was 7, and that was really cool because that kind of shaped me to be the man that I am today. I believe if I would have kept going back and forth or stayed with one parent, I probably would have went down a different route, I guess you would say, in life. I don't know, maybe not, but honestly, crazy enough, I got saved whenever I was 7. So we were very involved in church, and I got saved when I was 7.
Amen.
And that was whenever things just turned. And like I was like, hey, I want to move in with my grandparents. And my parents were like, okay, that's fine. Crazily enough, my life just got shaped from there by the good Lord. Wasn't me, wasn't anything I did, but I was always in sports and played basketball, football, baseball, and never touched an instrument, never sang, never did any of that growing up. Like that was very foreign to me. It was always baseball, really.
Yeah.
And I knew I wanted to play in the major leagues. I wanted to be an MLB player. So I was like, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Well, then I guess high school. So I graduated from South Caldwell in 2014. And high school, I kind of got put in my place. And I was like, okay, I'm a decent baseball player, but I'm not going to be good enough to do much with it.
Yeah.
And I knew that I could probably go and play Division II in college. And I was like, okay, that's my goal. So that was my goal at that age, probably 15, 16. I finally was like, okay, let's just strive to get there. And sure enough, I mean, I worked my butt off, but I guess in baseball you can really hit a plateau, and you see that a lot with kids like growing up, and I was one of them kids that just planed out. And, I could throw 85, 87. I was right-handed, but didn't really have much from that. I could hit a home run or two every now and again, but just wasn't lights out. So I did get a scholarship to go to Winston-Salem State University down in Winston.
Okay.
And that was cool. So let's see. That was graduated in 2014. Freshman year was 2015. Got down there. It was different because I'd never been away from Caldwell County. Like Granite Falls was a place that I'd been. Never really traveled much. Hadn't seen many states. I'd probably been maybe Tennessee, South Carolina, Virginia, maybe just the bordering states. So
Yeah.
I'd never been away from home at all, hardly. Beach trips were 3 or 4 days, and then we're back home. That was it. Just normal family stuff. But so I moved in down there my freshman year and met a whole new group of friends. Like, it was super cool. And that baseball team camaraderie and everything, and just like everything that we built, we still have it today. Like, I still talk to those guys and watch them raise their families and have kids and everything. It's just so cool. But so I went down there, played baseball my freshman and sophomore year, and it went well. It did. It really did. I started probably 30 games my freshman year, and then sophomore year I probably started 50 out of the 70 we played. So I played a lot, and
Yeah.
I really did well, thank God. But I busted my butt too. Like, it was a different mindset. So I had gotten a girlfriend at the time, and she went to App State, and I was like, I'll just transfer to App, be up there. I had a bunch of friends up there too. And I was like, I'll just transfer to App and just go be a normal student and kind of see it from both sides of you. See it as a student athlete and see it as just a normal student.
Mm-hmm.
So sure enough, I quit my sophomore year and transferred up to App and had a blast. I mean, didn't learn a lot, but I drank a lot of alcohol and partied a lot. So,
Yep.
and I'm still paying.
Appalachian.
Yeah, and I'm still paying for that drunk. That's 3 years of just being drunk.
Yeah.
But no, I got a degree, and it was good. So I got a degree in healthcare management. So I do have a bachelor's degree. I stayed up there for, like I said, 2.5 years. So I did a little half lap right there in the end.
Mm-hmm.
But so I graduated, had a great time, yada yada yada. Moving back home, and in my mind, I don't even know why I did healthcare management. It was just something to do. Everybody's like, "What do you want to do?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I want to be a CEO of a hospital." Swear that was in my mind, and I was like, "Phillip, no, you don't want to be a CEO of a hospital. Like you're just saying this." And I was. And this is where I go back to the good Lord, like paving the way for me through my life. It is so nuts, and I'm just so blessed and so thankful. But I get a call, like, a week later from a buddy of mine that I actually went to app with, and he was a good friend of mine. And he had got into the trucking industry selling diesel parts. And I was like, he calls me. He said, "Hey, man, I'm moving to Wisconsin. Do you want my job?" And I'm like, and he was in outside sales. And what you do is you just go around to these truck shops and these people and, try to sell diesel parts to them for their trucks, their semi trucks. And I was like, "Andrew, I don't know anything about trucks or anything." I said, "I don't know a lot about anything, to be quite honest with you." And he was like, "Yeah, me neither." He was like, "But it makes good money." And I was like, I'm 23 at the time, I think, 22, 23. And I'm like, "Well, what's good money?" He's like, "Yeah, it makes like $80,000 a year." And I'm like, God, in my younger 20s, I was like, that's a lot of money. I'm still living at home. I have nothing going on. So I had, baseball was done. No more baseball in my life. I'd picked up golf a little bit. I'd actually just ran out of things to do, truthfully. And I've always been a do something type of guy all the time. Like, I'm always doing something. I'm playing golf. I'm hunting. I'm fishing. I'm, just doing everything and anything all the time. And I just run out of things to do. And I'm like, And I had met my now wife at 24 years old. So I'd met her. Crazy enough, we moved in together probably 3 weeks to a month later. So I met her at the beach. She lived at the beach. And I just knew I loved her from the get-go. So she moves up here, and she brings a guitar with her. We move into an apartment in Hickory, and she's like an angel. Like, I love her to death. But that's another God thing. Like, I wasn't really looking for her. She just kind of, boom, and she's my teetotal best friend ever. And so she moved up here. We get an apartment together, and she brings a guitar with her. Well, that one I'd picked up at my house was given to me by someone, and like I said, I tried to play it for a week, and I was like, this is way too hard. My fingers are hurting. It sounds horrible. This just ain't it. So she brings that guitar, and like I said, I just run out of things to do. Like, I was like, dang, I'm getting tired of golf already. Like, it's just not it. Slow pitch softball was a thing. Like, I was like, but it's just not it. So I picked up that dang guitar, and I played it literally from the time I got off of work at 5 o'clock. I'd play it till about 10 every evening. Weekends, I would get up 10 in the morning and I would play it all day long, like 8 to 10 hours. And I just got addicted to it. And I was like, wow.
Do you remember the first song you mastered? Like, what's the one that you played over and over and over when you were learning?
Crazily enough, this is wild. I don't even remember this song. One day I want to jump back into it and try to rewrite it. But I wrote a song within my first couple months of playing, and it was just like a D and a G chord. Like, that was it. But I wrote that song and I played it for my grandma, and she cried, and I was like, but I never play that song, and I wish I could. And I don't think I even wrote it down. I had it on an old computer of mine that I typed up, and I don't even have that laptop anymore. But I played that song a lot, but I don't, like I said, I don't even remember it. But the cover song that I played the most would probably be, and it was probably the first one I ever learned, was Luke Combs' "She Got the Best of Me." That was probably it, because that was like big Luke Combs era at that time. Like, he was on the come up, like, making it, and it was cool to see that. And I was like, dang. And like, I'd heard the story, like, he didn't learn to play guitar till he was like 21 years old. And I was like, ha, me too. Like, I was a little older. So I played that song all the time, like, over and over and over again. But I would play and play and play. And I would tell my wife, which was my girlfriend at the time, I was like, I'm going to play the bars one day. I'm going to play the restaurants. I was pitiful, y'all. Like, I was terrible. Like, I was like, bring, bring. And I told her, I was like, and I was bound and determined. I was like, I'm going to do it. And she was like, okay, Phillip, you keep it up, honey. You keep going. And she like never told me how bad I was, but I knew it. And I was like,
she wasn't going to do that to you.
Yeah, I knew it. And I was like, oh my gosh. And, but so I played. Probably I learned and just kept learning simple chords, nothing crazy. Like I'm still to this day not the best guitar player, and I'm fine with that. But because I don't really want to, I like playing rhythm guitar, but my heart's in writing music, and I love writing songs and connecting with people out of stuff from my life that I've been through. Like that's where my heart's at, you know. But I'll touch on that in a bit. Anywho, yeah, I told her, I was like, I'm going to do it, yada, 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 yada. She's like, okay, keep it up. And sure enough, I guess I practiced so I've been doing this now almost 4 years, so a little over 3.5 years. So I probably practiced for a year, I guess, and just got to where I could play some songs and maybe play for 2 hours. Like I said, and I remember telling my dad, I was like, hey, I want to play. And he was like, well, son, can you play 2 hours worth of cover songs? Like, can you do that? Can you play and sing them? And I was like, probably not. So then I bought my PA system and I set it up in our kitchen. And I got 2 hours worth of songs and I learned them. Like, and I still use my phone to see chords and lyrics and stuff. But I think that's a big thing. Everybody does that now. And if you don't, more power to you. That's great. But 98% of people do. Because when you're out playing covers, people want to hear songs that you really don't know, but you don't want to disappoint them. So you'll just pull it up and you're like, okay,
You can figure it out.
let's run with it.
Just look it up and figure it out.
Exactly. Yep. So I learned them, and I learned how to play them and get through them. Simple songs, but it was 2 hours worth. And finally called my dad one day, and I was like, yo, I can play 2 hours worth. And he goes, okay. He was like, well, maybe something will happen. Well, here comes another God thing. So I'm still in selling diesel parts. And I have a guy come up to me that I work with, and love this guy. And if it wasn't for him, probably would not be sitting here with you guys right now. Wouldn't have any type of music career, nothing. He comes up to me and he's like, Phillip, he was like, I know you play a little music every now and again. He was like, we go to Lowe's Foods Beer Den off of 127 every Thursday night, and they have live music. And I was like, huh. And he was like, they're looking for new people. He was like, would you want to do that? And I'm just like, I got scared. I was like, and I think this holds so many people back is the fear of doing it. Just jumping and doing it.
Yep.
Not being perfect to the T. You're going to mess up. That's music. Like, that's anything. You're going to screw up. That's just something you have to get through. But that's the first thing that hit me. I was like, I'm going to mess up. I can't do this. Like, there's no way.
It's real.
Yeah, exactly.
The opportunity comes and you're like, wait.
I don't want to do this.
Am I ready?
Exactly.
I'm not ready. It's not perfect yet.
Exactly. And that's exactly how I was. And I was like, okay. I said, I'm going to have to get back to you. Sure enough, he took it upon himself to message this girl. I think he texted her. He's like, hey, Phillip Page, here's his number. He wants to play. She texted me. This is on like Friday afternoon. She goes, hey, I got you booked for next Thursday. Like, just threw me into it. And I'm just like, oh. I was like, well, I can't be like, no, I don't want to seem like a little,
Yep.
bitch. I was like, I can't do that. I was like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
So I was like, I can't back out.
Your first gig is literally booked.
In a grocery store.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, it can't be that bad. People shopping, they're going to hear me, they're going to walk by. So I told all my friends and my family, and they showed up. And it was awesome. We had probably, 50 to 75 people in this little bar
Grocery store,
yeah.
It's a vibe over there. It really is.
And that is where
probably sold the most beer that night.
I'm telling you, I cut my teeth in a grocery store.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. Like, literally, that was my thing. And they were like, yo, we can't pay you, or you can't get paid, but you can make tips. And I'm like, okay. So I told my wife, I was like, I said, if I do this, I said, we make $20 or $30 in tips. This could be something that I might want to do. Like, this could be a little second hobby or a little hobby, second job type thing, extra money. Yeah. And she was like, yeah, absolutely. I couldn't believe it. And, encouragement, because I wasn't great back then. I was it was so new to me, but I gave it all I had and tried my best. And people were encouraging. Like, they didn't say, God, this sucks. Like, I'm sure some of them probably thought it. They're like, whew, a little rough here. A little rough. But I love that. But we walked out of there that night with over $200 in tips, and I couldn't believe it. And I was just like, whoa. I was like, this is something that could really happen. Like, I know I've said it before, but I was just kind of BSing, I mean, I want to do it, but, and it was like, it became every other Thursday I was playing in the grocery store, and it was awesome. And, I started, like, people who were shopping I would notice, like, one Thursday they were shopping. They were just had a grocery. The next Thursday I'd be there. They were there, sitting there, watching me. And I'm like, whoa. I was like, this is crazy. Like, these people actually heard me just out here goofing off shopping. Now they're actually coming here to sit and watch. And I was like, so that was something. Then I started writing songs, and I lost my stepmom back in 2020, and a couple months, maybe to a year after, it was probably a year after she had passed, I wrote a song. And I have a little brother too. He's 20, and he was 16. Yeah, he was 16 when his mom died. And I was like, golly. And it was very, very, what's that word I'm looking for? Sudden, yes. It was not expected.
Yeah.
And she actually accidentally overdosed and took too many pain pills and just kind of shut her respiratory system down and just went out in the living room while my dad was, like, walking out of the bedroom. She just went poof. And my little brother was in his bedroom. Dad's screaming. And he runs out and literally just sees his mom there dead. And I'm just like, whew. And I was actually in Virginia playing slow pitch softball at that time. This was my birthday. It was on my birthday in 2020. And, I come off the ball field, and my wife was like, Phillip, my grandparents had called my wife, and they were like, which she was not my wife then, but they called her, and they were like, hey, Christine is dead. And she was like, what? Like, no way. Like, because it was so sudden. And so it was so crazy. I'm on the ball field, and I think I'm playing like shortstop or third base or something. And I'm like peeked over at my wife, and she's kind of sitting there. And I see this emotion on her face. Like, I can read it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, did I do something wrong? Like, have I done something? Like, did I screw up? And my heart, like, kind of sinks. I'm like, God, what have I done? And I come off the ball field, and we win that game or something, and we're packing stuff. She's like, Phillip, I need you to walk out here, and I need to talk to you. And I was like, yeah. I was like, oh, I screwed up.
Now it drops.
Yeah, I was like,
stomach drops.
I was like, I've done something wrong, and I don't know what it is. And she goes, Phillip, Christine's dead. And I was like, huh? Like, it just didn't make no sense.
Yeah.
It's one of the things, a shock factor. I'm just like, no. She's like, no, she's dead. And I'm like, what do you mean? Because it just did not make sense.
For sure.
It made no sense. And, oh my gosh, I was just beside myself. Like, I didn't know what to do. I had no idea. And I was very thankful. So that tournament we go up and play every year, we had every year for like 4 years straight, was a Church of God tournament. So it was a bunch of godly people. And sure enough, like, word got around that she'd passed, and they all got around me and prayed. And it was so awesome. Like, it meant so much to me, and it helped me so much. And I didn't even know how to tackle calling my dad or my brother. Like, I was like, oh boy, like, what am I going to do? What am I going to say?
Because there's no words.
No.
Nothing
There's
you're gonna be
no,
able to
like,
say.
how are you?
No.
There's no, what can I do? Like, there's just
Yes.
nothing.
And I'm telling you, my mom really did a great job of raising me from the time I was born till I was about 7.
Mm-hmm.
Once I moved in with my grandparents, it wasn't so much seeing my mom anymore. She fought her own demons and was struggling and stuff. And so my dad really, but it was my grandparents and my dad. Like my dad was my boy. Like that was my guy. At a young age, I did not like my stepmom because it was that jealousy factor. You know, dad, I have an older brother as well. So, of course, dad loved me and my older brother. We're his only two kids at the time. And my stepmom comes in the picture, and I'm like, and this lady, she wants dad's attention. You know, and I'm a young kid. I'm like, you ain't getting my dad's attention. That's my guy. Like, that ain't yours. That's my dude.
For sure.
And I didn't like her. Gosh, I didn't like her. But as I got older, and they had my little brother, and as I got older, I just, you know, we got over it. You know, there was no jealousy, and she had a huge loving heart, and she was a sweet lady, and she was awesome. But her and my dad fought their own demons as well. But anywho, she passed on my birthday, and about a year later, I wrote a song called "If Heaven Had a Phone," and there was a girl that I went to school with. Her mom had died of cancer, and I saw her make a post on Facebook, and it said, "I sure do wish heaven had a phone." And she said that, and I was like, man, me too. And I was like, I'm going to write a song from my little brother's perspective of losing his mom, and I'm going to call it "If Heaven Had a Phone." So I wrote that song, and I was going back to the grocery store, and I was like, hey, like I wrote this song, and, you know, I got 40 people sitting in front of me and people stopping with their shopping carts, and I'm like, hey, I wrote this song, you know, it's about my stepmom who passed, and, you know, I want to share it with you. And I played it, and people were crying. People were just like hugging each other, and I'm like, whoa, like this is powerful. Like this is amazing from something that I'd been through and something I'd felt.
Yeah, watching people connect with that same feeling.
For sure.
And I was like, these people had felt that way too.
Yeah.
And now I've shared it through a microphone and a song with this guitar, and it made them feel a type of way. And I was like, whoa. I was like, you can do that? And that's when I was hooked. I was like, oh, I'm hooked. I was like, this is it. And so I played that grocery store every other Thursday for 2 years probably. But I was also starting to pick up other places and other gigs. And probably 2 years in, I looked at my schedule, and it probably, let's say like February, and I was booked literally like Thursday, Friday, Saturdays through August, through the summer. And I'm like, whoa. And it just all happened. And I'm just like, I did not expect this. Like, this is nuts. And I'm going around, I'm writing more songs, and things are going good.
All that from that first yes.
Yep, exactly. And one that I didn't even want. Like, I was scared.
And it wasn't even an ask. It was just like, you're booked.
Here, you're doing this.
You're doing it right now.
And I have so many people come up to me, and they're like, man, I want to get into music. But I'm just nervous. I said, the best advice that I can give you is jump. Do it. Like, reach out for that first gig. You're going to mess up. You're always going to mess up. That's music. You're not going to be perfect. I'm going to tell you what, but if you really want to do it, you just got to do it. You can't sit back and just be like, maybe one day. Yeah. Because you'll say maybe one day forever, and then it all pass, and you can't do it.
Today is that one day.
Yes. Like, you have to do it. Like, you just and I'm so thankful for that push, and, like, because it's just wonderful. Like, I would not rather do anything else in this world, and never even knew that I wanted to do this until 4 years ago, let's call it. So, like I said, I'm booking shows. Things are going great. You know, family and friends are coming out watching me all the time, and I'm just like, man, this is cool. Like,
and at this point, you're getting paid.
Yes, and now I'm
at these gigs. It's not just tips. It's like you're getting paid to be there by the venue. Yeah.
So
and you're getting tips, hopefully, maybe some free beer.
So so that, you know, working my day job, still selling diesel parts, on top of this money I'm making from these 3 to 4 gigs a week, I'm like, golly, like, I'm bringing in so much money. Like, this is amazing. But I'm still hating my life every day. Like, hating my life going to this job every day. Like, where I'm just a number. It's nothing. I don't care about this place. This place don't care about me. These people don't care about me. And I really don't care about them. And it's like I'm just dreading every morning. But I looked forward to those gigs every week. It got me through the week. Like, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, like, I was just looking forward to Thursday evening when my music started that week. I was like, yes, just got to get to Thursday, and it drove me. And things were going great. And so I believe I'm engaged at this time. I guess this was, oh Lord, I lose track. About 3 years ago, I guess. I'm engaged. My wife's family lives at the beach. We're down there visiting in August, and it's a summer morning. It's hot. I'm pretty sure I was hungover, but we're going to breakfast, and me and her, and we pull into this parking lot of this place, and get out, and we're sitting, and this little place that we're eating has a little outside area, so we're just chilling, just hanging out. My phone rings, and it's my grandpa, and he says, "Hey, buddy," he says, "your dad's girlfriend's found him unresponsive. I need you to come on home." And I'm just like, oh my God. And I just lost every ounce of everything I had in me. I'm flailing around that parking lot, hitting the ground. I almost started punching cars. I'm glad I didn't. But I'm punching the gate. I can't talk. I'm just expressing myself in this weird way that I've never done it. And my wife, I didn't even tell my wife what was going on. Like, she had no idea.
Yeah.
These people were watching me act a fool. And, like, there's other people out there, and I'm just acting a fool. And they're like, "Is he okay?" And my wife was like, "I don't know. I can't get him to speak," because I couldn't. And I'm just, like, on the ground, just punching the ground because I knew my dad was gone. I knew it. Like, for the weirdest reason, I knew it. So back in 2012, my dad had a neck surgery, and sure enough, he got prescribed pain pills, and he got hooked on them instantly. And so that carried on for, almost 10 years, and it just got worse and worse and worse and worse, and you could see it. And it got to the point where he was like snorting them and like taking so many. I'm talking like, I don't know what they were, but this dude's taking like 20 to 25 pain pills a day. Mm-hmm. He's a big guy. Mm-hmm. He's about 370 pounds, about 6'2", big fella. So his body could withstand it, but it was probably taking a toll. And it's pretty wild. So, I guess this was probably 2 or 3 weeks before they made him get a heart cath, just to get everything checked out. Heart was actually fine. Everything was good. But honestly, from where he went in for that heart cath, in the time that he was having that heart cath, his body already started withdrawing from the pain pills. Like, that's how addicted he was to them.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, they were like, they were like, his heart rates went up real bad, and they were just like, something's not right, but we don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And so that scared him. He calls me like after. He's like, "Man, they said everything was good," but he was like, "I just want you to know, like, I went the other day and I made you the beneficiary of all my accounts and everything, and like, you are the most responsible, yada yada yada." And he was like, "I want you to divvy everything up if anything ever happens to me." Mm-hmm. And he said that.
That's a tough conversation to
for
have.
sure.
Exactly. And and I'm like, "Dad."
No, you're like, "I don't want to talk about that, man.
Exactly.
Come on."
That's what I said. I said, "Dad," I said, "you're healthy." I said,
Stop.
I was like, "You just saw where you're healthy." I said, "You're good." I was like, "You're fine." And you could tell this guy was so, and like I said, my dad was my guy. That was my guy. I told him everything about my life. He knew it, like even my deepest, darkest secrets. This guy knew it. And I knew his too. And, that's a wild thing. But this guy was so tired from his addiction. You could tell it. Like,
He was done fighting.
He was toast. He
Yeah.
was toast. So, I'll never forget, I'm so blessed. He called me that night before my little brother was doing, every year before football season, they do this like midnight madness thing, and that was the first night they get to hit with pads. So they were doing that, and Dad worked a job. Like, he was a maintenance man. He worked hard. I mean, he worked 7 to 4 every day, 7 a.m., 4 o'clock. He never missed work. He didn't miss work much at all. So he was a very functioning, addict. And, but, he got up at 7 that morning, and here's what we think happened. But he went to that Midnight Madness thing. He texted me. He's like, man, I wish you were here, blah, blah, blah. I was like, me too. He called me. He was like, your brother looks good. Everything looks great. I was like, heck yeah, well, I'll be home Sunday. You know, I'll come see you, blah, blah, blah. He's like, all right, buddy. He's like, I love you. I love you so much. That's the last words I ever heard him say. And I'm so thankful for that. The last thing I told my dad was, I love you.
Yeah.
And that is everything. Like, that is everything. I'm so glad. And that helped me a lot. But we figured he got up and went to work that day, and he had stayed up for so many hours and, you know, taking so many of these pills, and finally went to bed at like 2 a.m. that night, but got up early the next morning. And the next morning, it was a Saturday morning, they were doing something, so we think he just kept feeding the pills. He finally hit that mark of where his body's like, hey, can't do this anymore. And sure enough, went right out just like my stepmom did. They both died the same exact way. And he fell out of the chair, and you know, they got there, did CPR and everything, and we kept him on a ventilator for about a week. And you know, it was tough, because the smaller hospital that they had transported him to kind of gave us false hope. They were like, yeah, it should be good, you know, everything checks out. Well, my wife was a nurse, and she is a nurse. She's an ER nurse. She's a saint. But she's a nurse. So she knew more than I knew, you know. And they were telling me we're on our way to the hospital, like hard as we could go. We got up and just went straight, coming home. 5 hours. We're running 100 mile an hour the whole way home. And I get a call, and they're like, yo, or somebody calls me. I don't remember who it was. They were like, you know, everything looks okay, but he keeps having seizures. Like, he keeps having seizures, like, back to back to back to back. And I looked at my wife, and I hung up the phone. I said, what's that mean? And she was like, well, Phillip, she was like, you know, that probably means he's brain dead completely. Like, he lost oxygen to his brain for too long. While they were doing CPR, it wasn't really getting to him. So if your brain goes without oxygen, I think for like 6 or 7 minutes, you're pretty much brain dead. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
So his was about 10. So he was every bit of brain dead. And she told me that. And that was an awesome thing too. You know, in a situation like that, you want people to give you the brutal honesty.
Be direct.
For sure.
Be straight up. Don't.
Because then I can figure out how to process it.
Exactly. So when she told me that, I was already starting to process it. I was like, okay, like, you know.
Let's be realistic.
Yep, here we go. Like, I knew he was dead. Knew it was it. Knew I'd never hear from him again. I was like, okay. So I was like, all right. My brain's processing it already. I'm still upset. I'm freaking out. Like, freaking out. And so we finally get to the hospital, and, you know, they kind of gave us some false hope. They're like, yeah, he might pull through and be fine, you know. And, excuse me. And I'm like, okay, like, that's cool. Well, time went on, and a couple days passed, and we're not really hearing much. And they're like, hey, we're going to send him to Charlotte, to Pineville. They have a neurology team, and they're going to kind of assess him and check everything out. And I was like, okay, whatever. We get down there, and one of the nurses, you know, I'm fishing for answers at this point, because they're not hearing a lot, like, not much. And I asked one of the nurses, I was like, hey, how are we looking here? She was like, well, she was like, your dad's very sick, very, very sick. And I was like, okay, like, that could mean anything, you know. Like,
Yeah.
So I was really just wanting to know, all right, what are we doing? Like,
Tell me the
is
plan.
Is this
What's the plan?
Exactly.
Where we at?
We taking this guy off life support and he's going to die, or are we taking him off life support and he's going to live? That's what I need to know. You know, because I weren't real sure. I knew in my mind it was bad, like he was going to die. Finally, I had this neurologist come in there, and he told me, he said, man, here's what you're looking at. He said, you can leave him on this machine right here in a facility that does not take care of him worth a crap for the rest of his life. And then when we pull this breathing machine out, he's gone. He said, or you can take him off this breathing machine tomorrow and let him pass. And he said, that's what you're looking at. Yeah. And I said, my man. I was like, thank you. I was like, that's what I needed. And I was in charge of this. And I was like, okay. I was like, my dad would beat the living piss out of me if I left him on this machine for ever. Yeah. And he never got better. If he would haunt me, like when I finally did let him go, or he finally did die, he would come back and beat the heck out of me. So that neurologist was like, yeah, the best advice is to let him go and let it be. And I was like, absolutely, man, for sure. I was like, I wouldn't want to be hooked up to a machine, you know, the rest of my life. It's just not me. And I said I knew he wouldn't either. And, so we did. And they were like, is he an organ donor? And I was like, I don't know. I was like, I have no idea. And so it turned out he wasn't, but we could sign this thing and he could become one. And that made me feel really good. We actually got a letter. I'm not sure what all they used of his organs and everything, but I know that they did use some and it did help somebody. And I really liked that. Like, that was fulfilling.
Yeah.
But I'll tell y'all, that probably it was probably a year and a half after he had passed. You talk about numb. I don't have a lot of memory of it. The whole year and a half, there was so much crap going on. I had to get all of his stuff settled. I had people coming to me like, hey, I want this. Hey, you need to do this. Blah, 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 blah. Like, and it was crazy because, like, stuff like that, I stressed about it all the time, but it was almost like God was like, hey, in the right time, you're going to get this done. In your time, you're going to get it done. Don't freak out about it. Don't push. And I had people like coming to me, family members coming to me like, you need to do this. You need to do this. We want this, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, I almost lost my cool a couple times. So that was annoying. But finally, I did get everything settled with all of his estate and everything. We got it fixed. But it took me almost 2 years. And because I just wasn't ready to do it. Like, it wasn't something that I wanted to put my...
And everybody processes those things in their own time. And
Yes.
I don't think everybody's not meant to jump in and just settle all that paperwork. Like,
Exactly. No.
and that's something people don't think about either. Like,
Yeah.
people who are fortunate enough to not have to deal with loss that closely, you don't think about
Absolutely.
all that goes into it.
Yeah.
For sure.
It was a lot of energy, and a lot of energy that I didn't have. And,
Yeah.
I found myself in a bad way. I was drinking to fill the void. I was drinking for the wrong reasons. I'd never done that. I like to have a cold beer now and again, shot of liquor here and there. That's my thing. But I've never drank to
Escape.
fix myself. Yeah.
Escape that.
Yes.
That
I'd
sinking in your own head.
I'd never done that. Never in my life until then. And I was getting tore up every weekend. And it was bad. Like, it was bad. And during the week some too. A lot, quite often. And, I think my wife finally come to me and she's like, hey, like, you need to slow down.
You need to simmer down.
Yeah, you need to slow down a little bit. I'm getting a little worried about you. And when
Yeah.
she did that, I was like, oh boy. I was like, okay. All right, there's more to this than just Phillip. Like, we
Yeah.
can't be thinking about just Phillip now. You have other people depending on you who need you in the right state of mind. And, I've got a song, and then I've got 3 songs coming out next year. We'll talk about that too. So I'm super excited. So, but I do have one song coming out next year, and it's called Run to You. And I wrote that song for my wife because she was the person I ran to honestly run away from drinking for the wrong reasons. Instead of drinking to fill that void, I just went to her, and she was my comfort, and she was everything. And
Hang on 1 second. I'm so sorry.
there you go.
And this is why the podcast is so real. We literally are just normal people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, guys. My apologies. Obviously, we have a new special guest with us for a little bit. Jaden, you want to say hey to everybody?
No.
You say hey? You say hey?
No.
No.
Say hey.
You.
Oh, you want me to say hey to everybody? Okay. All right. Continue on. I'm so sorry.
No, you good, dude. So
We were saying your wife
Yeah.
was very graciously
Yeah.
saying you might need to check yourself
Yeah.
before you wreck
Yeah.
yourself.
like
lovingly.
simmer down.
Yeah.
Simmer down, buddy.
Yeah.
So yeah, she did, and that was the best thing I needed. Like, she is just
She's a real one for
she
that.
is. She really
There's
is.
a tactful way to do that where you're not coming across like
Right.
nagging.
Yep.
There's a way when you really love somebody, there's a
Absolutely.
way to say, hey,
Yes.
I care about you, and if you care about us together, we better
Yeah. Figured out.
lock in.
Figured out. Mm-hmm. And it was great.
Good.
And it was awesome, and I needed it. And it was perfect, and said the correct way and everything. She was just like, hey, like, do better.
Yeah.
She was like, you got to. She was like, for my sake. When she said for my sake, I was like, ooh, okay.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
just about me anymore.
Yeah.
It's about her. And that made it so much bigger. And I was like, wow. She was like, good Lord willing, we'll have a little kid one day,
Yeah.
And that's big too,
Yeah.
like, that's big.
It's,
like,
it's a big
that's
deal.
big.
For
So,
sure. You can't just
Right.
You know, it's not
Exactly.
about you anymore.
Exactly. So, but yeah, and so when Dad passed, you know, that drove my music even harder. I write so many songs about him, and it's helped me cope and grieve, and it's just been wonderful. Like I said, another
It's
guy.
like an outlet for you as
100%.
well to process some of
Yes.
this loss.
Yes.
That seems pretty consistent with like artists, whether it's music or whatever kind
Right.
of artist it is. That's why they say like the tortured poet or whatever.
Yes.
Because usually somebody can really feel inspiration from loss.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. That's how a lot of people connect
And good
through.
for you for channeling that
Yes.
into
and
something that is connecting to other people.
Yes, and it's wonderful. Like I said, you know, I knew it could happen. Like even when my stepmom passed, I wrote "If Heaven Had a Phone." I was like, okay, and I was like, this is just another connection thing. Like you're gonna be out here, you got a microphone, you got a platform. People are gonna listen. Sometimes they aren't, but the ones who do and they hear it and they can relate, it means something. You know, I'll never forget. Let's see, this probably wasn't long after Dad had passed. I got an opportunity to play open for a band at Hickory Motor Speedway, and it was so cool. There was a guy in the band who played keys, and his sister was there watching. They were going to watch him. She was going to watch the band, and she was watching me, and they were standing out in front of me, and I have a song called "Hey Dad," and I played "Hey Dad," and this big dude, like, looks like he could lift the world up, breaks down, like goes to a knee and just starts sobbing. And I'm like, whoa, like either something bad just happened for them,
Yeah.
or
That hit
something
something
hit,
deep
yeah. And
for
I'm like,
him.
oh gosh, I was
Unhealed
like, okay.
wounds.
And sure enough, I got done playing, and his sister come up to me, and he hugged me and said, thank you. That's all he said. That's all he said. And I was like, yeah, no problem, man. His sister come up to me and hugged me. She goes, our dad died 2 weeks ago, and he has not shed a tear yet. And I was like,
He needed that one.
yeah. And she said that. She said he needed that.
He needed
so
that
much.
release.
And I was
Yeah.
just like, wow.
To
I was
know
like,
someone else in the world has also felt these
Yes.
very same feelings. And it's like, that's something I hadn't considered until just now either, is how, like, some people don't know how to actually put into words
oh,
what
yeah.
they're feeling. And so you as an artist being able to put that into words and then it hits for them, they're like, okay, here's some lyrics. Here's how I can explain and identify what
Yes.
is happening.
Yes. And it was just,
Oh, how
it was
cool.
amazing. And I
Yeah.
was like, okay. I was like, you know, there's a reason I'm doing this. It's
Yeah.
not just to stand up
Using
here
your
and
testimony.
exactly, exactly. Like there is a reason.
Making a difference.
Yes, and I was like, wow. I was like, okay. Like I'm not just up here. You know, there are times where I do just, you know, do a bunch of covers, have a great time. But there's also a time where we can get sentimental and connect, and things get real sad. I write a lot of sad
Read
songs.
the room.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's a
read
big
the
thing.
room.
That's a big thing. But I'm so thankful for the amount of time, like, or the moments. There's so many moments where, you know, people still want to hear those connecting songs, and they want to hear something that they feel, you know.
Yeah.
Even if they haven't gone through anything themselves, like, they still want something that's real. But, and crazily enough, you know, we just went up to Ohio, and I'm so thankful to be traveling now and just, you know, this thing going crazy. And I guess, heck yeah.
Jaden, stop, buddy.
He said, I didn't do it.
What do you want to say?
Tell him.
What do you want to say?
Tell him.
What do you want it for?
But, so anywho,
Ohio.
yes, Ohio. Get that in just a second. I did finally quit my day job a year ago in October.
Woo!
Yeah, I finally quit. So that's where I was leading up to. Yes. I finally, I guess the start of 2024, I looked at my schedule and I was already completely booked, and like, especially Thursday, Friday, Saturdays, but there was a lot of Wednesdays and Sundays that I was booked. So it was, you know, it
Monday, Tuesday's recovery.
exactly. It was 5 days a week.
Because it's
And
late. Those
Yes.
gigs are late. I mean, you're
Yes.
packing up out of there 12,
Yep.
1, 2 sometimes.
Yep. And I looked and I was like, oh my gosh, like, you know, and I started kind of what I would do is I would take, what I made from my day job, and I would take these gigs and only factor in what the venues were paying, not even tips. And it was getting so close to what I was making at my day job. And I was like, dude, if we throw in tips, I was like,
I can sleep
I
in.
can make a living doing something that makes me happy.
Yeah.
And at this point, I was miserable. I hated my job so much. I was not a nice person. My blood pressure, I got put on blood pressure medicine. Like, it was bad. Like, I was stressing out over something that did not care about me.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
I hated it, and it was just bad. My wife was like, Phillip, you are miserable. And I was like, I know. And I was like, I would do anything to get out of doing this, like anything. And finally, I was like, you know what? I asked her, I said, how about this? I was like, this is just me pitching this.
Yeah.
I was like, she works in the ER. She works so hard. She's a special person. It takes a special person to do what they do. Oh, my heavens. She tells me stories, and I have bad anxiety. I'm like, hey, quit. I was like, my chest is hurting already. I can't listen to this anymore.
Yeah.
And it sucks, too, because sometimes she needs an outlet. She needs to speak about it. And I'm just sitting there, and I'm about to die. And I'm just like,
I am definitely not able to sleep after that one.
Exactly. I'm just like, oh, but I have to listen because she needs to let this out. She needs to get it out. And I'm like, gosh, I love you so much, but man, this is tough for me. But anywho, I was like, you know what? I was like, how about I go on your insurance and I quit my job, because that was really the only reason I stayed, just to be on insurance. And because I have type 1 diabetes, so I need that. But anywho, and she was like, yeah, absolutely. She was like, I'll put you on my insurance. She was like, and you go play music for a living. And I was like, really? She was like, absolutely. I said, all right. And this was like October of last year. And sure enough, this was beginning of October. I said, walked in there, my best buddy. I had written out, I hate this place and I'm quitting on October 25th. And I handed it to him. I said, here's my month's notice, pal. I said, I love you to death. I said, but I'm done with this mess. He said, good. He said, go do it. He said, chase it. He said, chase your dream. And I was like, all right. I said, that's what we're going to do. Jamie, we got to chase our dreams. Yeah.
What do you want to say? You want to say hello? You want me to say hello?
But he told me, he said, go chase your dreams. He said, go do it. And I said, okay. Sure enough, everything has been great. I ain't going to say that I'm a millionaire, but...
Y'all are still close.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
We see each other.
I'm glad he was so supportive.
He was, and he's awesome. Like I said, he's one of my best buddies, and I'm so thankful for him. He was like, go do it. He was like, go. He was like, chase it hard.
And that was like, October, you said?
Yeah, so that's October 25th of 2024. So
okay.
Been just a little over a year that I've done it full time.
All right.
That's awesome.
And it's been awesome. My wife was like, Phillip, you're a whole different person. You're happy. She was like, you're doing what you love. And she was like, I love to see that. And I was, it wasn't a month. My whole demeanor just changed. I was like, man, this is cool. Get to sleep in, don't have to wake up and stress at 7:30 in the morning.
And go to a job that you hate.
Yeah, and that is the worst thing for your body. Like, the worst. It'll make you feel miserable. And it was getting to that towards the end. Like, I would stress.
Burnout is real.
Oh, yeah. I was burnt out. I would stress all day. And then I'd get to these gigs, something I truly did love, and I was out of energy. I was like, whoa.
Ready to crash.
Yes. I was like, I can't.
Taking the fun out of what you love.
Exactly. And I was like, I'm not going to let this place ruin what I truly do love.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, whenever I started doing it full time, it's been amazing. Like, it's just been
What's
everything.
your 5-year plan with music?
So now what I'm doing is I'm starting to put in, like, for these contests and stuff. So there's like these little contests, and a lot of them are put on by, like, company, like Tractor Supply does one, stuff like that. And so I'm starting to put in my original songs for these and hoping something comes from that. I want to be a songwriter overall, but I love to perform. I truly do. I gotta choose my words very wisely here. But as far as getting a band and doing full band stuff, that's not really on my mind right now. If that does happen eventually, that would be so cool. Like, that would be so cool. But my take on that is, you know, crazy enough, I don't view myself as just like as a musician. It's weird. It's a weird thing. It's super weird. I think it's a humble thing, but I feel like I'm undeserving of it because I didn't do it my whole life. I haven't worked so hard like a lot of these people have, and it's hard. But I've been gifted, thank God, to be able to write a song or two. And so I love doing the solo thing, and it pays the bills. Sometimes it does suck, but it beats the heck out of anything else that I would rather do. You know, when you're playing in these bars and these restaurants and 3 people are chilling there, you know, on a Wednesday evening. It's tough, but it pays the bills, and it's awesome because I'd much rather do this than go to that day job that I hated.
Yeah.
So I think my 5-year plan is put out more music. So that's going to start the beginning of 2026. I'm going to start putting out. I finally got a guy who's producing my music, full version. It's awesome. He's brought in drummers. He's brought in steel guitar players. And these songs that I've only ever played with an acoustic guitar have come to life. And I hear them, and I'm like,
That's so
oh,
special.
Yeah, it's so
yeah.
cool.
I'm like, whoa.
There's even more dimension than I could imagine.
Yes. I'm like, whoa. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my God. And that's what I told him too. And he's amazing. Like, he just does a great job. And I told him, I was like, hey, man, you know, I don't have a vision for these songs, but I have a platform. Like, I have base level. I said, but I don't really know what they're supposed to sound like. And I think you can bring them to life. And has he ever? And I don't say this about my own music ever, but I love them. And I usually can't stand listening to myself, but these songs are so cool. I'm just like, wow. Like,
When someone else has the right ear, like that
Yeah.
producer, engineer type of
Yes.
ear, they really can.
it was incredible. And I'm just like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh. So, 5-year plan, put out more music, keep doing the solo thing for a living to pay the bills. And, you know, I'm going to continue to put in for these contests and stuff. Maybe The Voice. Maybe. We might do that. Maybe.
Woo.
Everybody tells me, like, hey, try out for The Voice.
I definitely
Hey,
think you should.
It's
Yeah.
definitely worth it at
Every-
the very least to
Yes.
go and experience that.
I agree. And
Networking.
yes. And so I think that's something we'll do. Definitely, we're going to Nashville next month. I definitely need to start spending some more time up there as far as a networking thing and just as a songwriter thing. I would like to get with more songwriters up there and write with different people because I've never written a song with other people. All my songs that I've written, which I probably have 20, 25, have only been written by me. And I think it would be so cool to get in a room with 2 or 3 other people and just bounce ideas off.
Different
And
perspectives.
yeah, I have so many ideas, and I know these other people do, and just get with people and write. So as far as songwriter thing, do that. And if a band thing does come about, that'd be cool. I mean, full band shows are so full of energy, and they're amazing, and I would love it. I know I would. The biggest thing is, like I said, I don't view myself as a musician. And it's just a weird thing. It's like a self-concept. But what I want to do when it comes to a band is I don't even want to talk about music. I don't want to do anything with music for like the first week or so. I just want to get together and hang out, goof off, just see if I can. I want
Jive.
to be friends before
Yeah.
I want to be
Yeah.
music partners. Call it
Yeah.
that.
For sure.
I think that's a big thing. And
Connection is important.
Yes, because if you get in there beside somebody that you don't really like, it ain't gonna work.
You can feel that.
Yes, and I've seen it so much, and
Yeah.
it scares me. And I'm like, okay, like,
This is awkward.
yes, and I'm just like, yeah, it's like, why
Yeah.
do you just do this? Like, find somebody else.
Yeah.
You know?
Makes it uncomfortable.
Yeah, and I do want a band, but like I said, I want to find the little friend group first,
Yeah.
and that's a tough thing. But you know,
Find your own flow. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yes.
Find your own flow for
Yeah.
now.
and that
If it happens, it happens.
and that end time thing, you know,
Yeah.
if it's meant to be,
Just
it
like
will be.
God has put all of these other opportunities in your lap, and just
Exactly.
like that very first opportunity that
Exactly.
you know, were voluntold.
Yes.
Voluntold.
I
Yes.
believe truly, like
Yes.
that's all the big
Yes.
opportunities will play out in that same way.
Yes, exactly.
They always do.
Yep,
Just
for
lean
sure.
in.
Yep, and that's the coolest thing, you know. In the beginning, I think I was kind of in a hurry, and I was like, okay, I got to book. You know, I got to book all these shows. And I'd stress about it. And my wife would be like, Phillip, chill out. Like, it's fine. They're gonna come. Like, I promise. And she would keep my hopes up. And I'm like, okay. Sure enough, they always come. Like,
Often right in the nick of time
Yep.
too. which is funny, but it's like what I have come to realize about that is like that's almost where the point where God gets to like flex his muscles.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yeah, who else could have done that?
Exactly.
You had 0 seconds
And
left.
and you're
Who
freaking
else?
out. Yeah, you're freaking out. You're like, oh my
Yeah,
God.
hello, that was me.
Yep, and then it's like,
already handled.
Yep.
it's like, boom, you get this
You could have
message.
saved yourself a lot of stress if you just trusted me.
It's just like, boom, you get that message or you get that email.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, we have these dates open. You got any?
Surprise.
You look at your calendar and those dates are the ones you have open. You're like, huh. You're like, okay,
Yeah.
okay, I see.
Yep.
I see.
Yep.
For sure.
So, and that, so I definitely want to keep doing the solo acoustic thing.
Yeah.
Keep writing more songs, keep putting out more full version songs because that's going to be awesome. And I'm super
Do you have
excited.
anything out on any platforms
So
right
yeah,
now?
I have 6 acoustic songs out. They were very rushed, I believe, but they're
There's
original.
time. There's
Yes.
time to remaster
And I
and
love to
lock
see
in.
that.
Just put it out.
Just to see
like you
growth.
said
Yes.
earlier. Put it out.
That's it. That's a big
You
thing.
can reformat it later.
Yep. But to see that growth is crazy. To see like where you've come from. Like, okay, I look at those songs and then I look at these full version songs and I'm like, that don't even sound like the same dude. Like,
Yeah.
this is amazing. And it really is. And
Are they on YouTube?
So yeah. So I have songs on YouTube. The full version ones are not yet. They're not out anywhere. And they're all new. So but I do have those acoustic songs are on YouTube. They're on Spotify. They're on Apple Music, all that stuff.
Where do they find them?
So
Just
Phillip
Phillip
Page.
Page.
Phillip Page Music. Yep.
Phillip Page Music.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So that's that. But yeah. So but be looking for those full version songs in January. Maybe the end of December. I don't know. I'll have to check that out because you gotta go through all these little DistroKid and the
Yeah.
streaming stuff. So
Let us know because this will come out about the first week of December. So if you have an idea of when they'll come out, we'll
Tag and
we'll
link and
tag
all the
it,
things.
link it, and all the
be
cool
sweet.
stuff.
Any other big like festivals or shows you can think of in the next year people need to look out for?
nothing crazy yet. Nothing crazy. Still, that's something I would like to do too, though, is get into stuff like that.
I feel like a state fair
Yes,
would
that'd
be your
big.
that'd
Yep.
be sort of your audience.
Yes,
You
and
know?
those are
your people.
that's it. Yep. So I actually did. I played. So my wife is from Oak Island, Southport area, down on the
Yeah.
beach, and crazy enough, I've gotten picked up a lot of followers.
Little
and people,
boardwalk vibes.
Yeah, a bunch of people
Yeah.
down there. I love them to death. They're so
Yeah.
good. And dude reached out a couple months back, and he was like, "Hey, can you play the Brunswick County Fair? It's the first year we're doing it." And I was like, "Yeah." So I played that back in, gosh, I guess it was October, I think.
That's super.
That was
cool.
a lot of fun, though. That was awesome. And it was cool the way they did it. They set the stage up like right at the entrance, so like it was a revolving crowd. So
Yeah.
people would come, stand for 5 or 10 minutes, listen to your songs,
Go get some food,
and
come
come
back,
back.
listen to some
Exactly.
more.
So that was great. Like, that
Yeah.
was cool. Stuff like that, yes, that's big. But traveling. Okay,
We're back.
we're back.
We're talking about traveling
Yes, I want to travel more.
plans.
Yeah, that's big. But
Ohio, making connections with people.
yeah,
I was trying to catch up on your thought train.
well, yeah. Getting ready to enter dadhood in April of
That's
next
good.
year.
That's gonna be
So
welcome.
it's gonna be a game changer.
You girl dad though.
Girl dad. Yeah.
Girl dad.
I'm gonna be a girl dad. So I'm super excited about that.
I don't know what that's like.
Me neither.
I know the boy dad life is a lot different.
I'm excited. I really am very excited. I think my dad would have always been a good girl dad. He had 3 boys, but I think he was a big softy, and I think I am too. And I've got a bunch of friends who have little girls, and it looks like a lot of fun. You look like you learn a lot.
Yeah, you'll definitely learn a lot. For
look
sure.
like you learn a lot.
I mean,
But
that's just as a parent in general. I can speak from
I'm super excited.
mine
dude.
picking his Jaden. Don't pick your nose.
No, but it's awesome, and good Lord willing, hopefully the music thing continues to work out because it's gonna help a lot. It's gonna be tiring, but with Hannah working during the day, I think she might switch out of the working in the ER and get a more normal set schedule nursing job.
Yeah.
So like Monday to Friday, 7 to 4.
Yeah.
Which would be great because, I can take care of the baby during the day, be dad during the day, switch off, and then go play music a couple hours and come right back home.
High-fiving off.
Yeah. That's such a blessing.
It is. It helps so much.
And I'm sure, I hear everybody talk about how expensive childcare is too. So
It's
that's
ridiculous.
A scary, scary thing.
Yeah, we don't. Luckily, we're blessed enough to have people around us that are able to watch them. In the middle of the day, it's always a little harder,
right?
Because everybody else works. That's why sometimes you gotta bring him to work with you.
Yeah.
But luckily, I'm blessed. He's really good, so he doesn't bother me too much.
I'm super excited. He's very well behaved, but
For sure.
yeah, I'm super excited about that. It's gonna be fun.
Cool.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Thanks.
for sure. I look forward to watching you become a parent and get to experience all this fun that they entail. Ain't that right, Jay? Yeah. All right. Is there anything else that you wanna add?
Tell us where to find you online.
Plug all the socials.
Yeah. So everything you can find, Facebook, TikTok, Phillip Page Music. Instagram is PagePhil24. I need to switch that.
We'll put the links in the descriptions so that way you can just click them.
Yeah.
We'll make it easy for you to go find all of his socials and
Yep.
anything like
and then
that.
Spotify, Apple Music, just Phillip Page.
Cool.
Cool.
All right.
Say cool.
Will you tell him thank you so much?
Thank you.
You want me to tell him? All right. Well, thank you so much for watching this episode of the Voices of the Valley. Like we said, go check out all of Phillip's Page's socials. They will be linked down below in the description.
Thank you.
Thank you,
All right.
guys.
Hey,
I
thank you
appreciate
so much
having
for
me.
coming to sit with us, man. We appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank y'all.
Wish you the best of luck in all the future endeavors.
Appreciate it.
Cool. All right, guys. Thank y'all. See ya. All right, guys. In this part of the segment, we always like to go switch it over to our Patreon viewers. We're still working on building that up. So if you guys want to participate in this part of the segment, go follow us or go subscribe to us on patreon.com/heartofcatawba. You can ask questions to our viewers. You can ask questions to me and Laurel. Anything that you guys want answered, just ask it there, and we will do our best to get it answered for you guys. You have anything to add for the Patreon?
No, I'm still figuring out Patreon.
Okay.
But when you guys have questions, I will answer them.
Yep, for sure. She's still learning. That's kind of my job. I'm the one controlling all the
Blue
Patreon
jobs.
stuff, for sure. So, and then our final part of the podcast is what we call our Patreon Power Up. That is where we will shout out you guys for subscribing to that $20 a month membership. Remember, for $5 a month, you get to watch our videos early. For $10 a month, you get to see all the funny bloopers, behind the scenes content, any of the stuff that doesn't make it into our edits.
I may or may not have spilled my coffee today.
We might be on coffee number 6 that has spilt so far out of 5 episodes that we've had. So definitely got some
Mind your business.
definitely got some good blooper content.
Worry about yourself, okay?
For sure. And then, like I said, for that $20 a month, we will shout you guys right here. Add a link to your socials. Add a nice little flyer right here. Whatever we can do to promote you and shed some
basically a
light.
sponsorship opportunity.
100%.
Yeah, for people to get visibility on your business. It's a low-key way to get more eyeballs on you and kind of backlink to your site. So
Absolutely. We just want to build a community here in the heart of Catawba. We just want to, give everybody that light that they deserve, and build that community where you have somebody to talk to about any questions that you may have.
Yeah, and of course, as always, we encourage you to comment below if you have anyone whose story we need to hear about.
Absolutely.
Tag them in the comments. Let's get them on here.
Send us a DM. So you know that we you have somebody that has this powerful story, powerful message that you think everybody wants to hear, and we want to hear about it.
Yeah, testimony is key, and we really want to get that person that has that story the opportunity to share it, because you never know who it will connect to.
Absolutely.
Cool. See you next time.
Anything else? Nope. Jaden, you got anything else you want to add? What do you want to say to the people?
See
Say
ya.
deuces. All right, guys.
Look at the camera and say, see ya.
You look at the camera and say bye?
Bye.
Yep. All right, guys. Bye.